Alright guys, I just want to make this quick video now concerning TEVET 14th on 2029. I touched on this a little bit during my previous video about the two witnesses being crucified at Christmas. And if they are of around Christmas 2029, then the full moon, in which the second passing of the throne has to happen on a full moon, that would be December the 20th. But also it turns out to be TEVET 14th, and also it turns out to be a blood moon. Now you might not think that that is so many big shakes, you know, blood moons happen all the time, right? But the thing about this TEVET 14th is that there was a great research done by Daniel Taylor, and in which he showed how all these eclipses went forward in time and back in time from TEVET 14th of 2015. This would have been January the 5th. This is when the blood moon tetrad happened. So there was two blood moons either side of TEVET 14th around January 5th. But then what happens is you can go back and forward in time from that time, and symmetrically all the blood moons, the eclipses, I think there's solar eclipses in there also, they're actually absolutely symmetrical all the way forward, even to 29 TEVET. And it's interesting as well because so this full moon of TEVET 14th, of course the 14th day of the Hebrew month is the full moon, the first day of the month is the new moon. So this TEVET 14th is the one that I like to think of it as TEVET 14th full moon being the center. Like if you look at my menorah when I did my Sabbaths, if you look at the menorah, the seven candlestick menorah, in which this Daniel Taylor well illustrated what he'd found here, because the eclipses just went out and 100 days and so many days back in the past and towards the future. Of TEVET 14th of 2015, and you can use this menorah, and what I like to think of a TEVET 14th moon is like the centerpiece, the center stem of the menorah. So, and the eclipses being the candlesticks. So if you think about it in common sense terms, should really go in, common sense should really tell you that that centerpiece that holds the eclipses up very rarely becomes the blood moon, which is, I suppose the best way of saying it is, the blood moon of TEVET is the one that holds all the other, the full moon of TEVET is the one that holds all the blood moons and the eclipses up. So common sense would tell you that very rarely that TEVET 14th becomes one of them eclipses, because how can it? How can you have something that's symmetrical from and yet have that be of it? Do you get what I mean? And it's the truth. But what happens in 2029, December 20th, is that TEVET 14th, which falls on the December 20th because it's slightly earlier that year, on the Hebrew calendar, becomes the total lunar eclipse. It becomes the blood moon in which it was holding up all them years. All right, and here's the amazing thing, if you're just going back to how common it is. Yeah, so all the way back from TEVET TEVET of 2015 all the way forward until TEVET 14th of 2029, which is really a 15-year period on a Hebrew calendar. Like I say, it's slightly earlier that year. Sometimes it'll fall in January, sometimes it'll fall in December. But from TEVET 14th of 2015, January 5th, all the way until the blood moon of December 20th, TEVET 14th, 2029. 15 years, right? But here's the other thing, is that now you can, using the symmetrical thing, you can go all the way back from 2015 TEVET, 15 years all the way back, and you get to 2000, I believe it is, around that time. So basically, in simple terms, is that the blood moon being on TEVET 14th of 2029, it hadn't happened for 30 years before that. So that just goes to show how uncommon it is. So yeah, so I just wanted to point out that this TEVET 14th of 2029, which is late 2029, December 20th, will actually become the blood moon on which it was holding up. And 15 years either side. So, you know, concerning a sign in the heavens, because I talked the last time briefly about the two witnesses being killed at Christmas time because of, you know, Mary. They make merry and they give presents. So I thought, well, maybe they're crucified around Christmas time. And TEVET 14th of 2029, December 20th, is like 5 days before Christmas. Everyone's still got their gifts. That's another point. You know, they're not going to be giving gifts one to another a couple of days after Christmas, in theory. Do you know what I mean? But 5 days before Christmas, God, there's loads of people up here. So 5 days before Christmas is when this TEVET 14th happened. And if the two witnesses get crucified on that blood moon, then yeah, it's the same blood moon, TEVET 14th, which becomes a blood moon, and it hasn't done it for 30 years. So I've been Pastor Prophet Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. God bless you all. Amen.